you're an Olympic champion for a reason. You're the best in the world. You're a national champion for a reason. You're the best in the United States. Well, the United States isn't the world. And Kurt was the best in the world.
It's interesting. I've also heard a story about Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar getting into a shoot fight, and Kurt Angle apparently won that match. Were you there? Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah, I got my ass chewed over that by Vince. I mean, here's it. Vince don't like horseplay. Like everybody knows, Vince is a very serious guy. And then you got two of your stars out there, trying to wrestle each other. And when you're wrestling each other, it's not a work, And these two guys, and here's the whole deal about that. We're in the Dakotas. Well, there's a huge amateur tournament, but Fargo National. We're in Fargo, Dakota. There's a huge amateur wrestling tournament, one of the most respected tournaments in the year in the world for amateur wrestling. They were both Fargo champions, and so they were both national champions. But Kurt was Olympic champion on top of all his other accolades that he got. And there's such a world of difference between that freestyle wrestling and the folk style wrestling that they do in college. So the guys were their worst enemy. The guys were always, hey, who can take it? Brock, you're 100 pounds heavier than Kurt. You can take it. Kurt, you're Olympic champion. You can take it. You can take it. And these guys, Brock and Kurt, are calling me every week. Brisco, the guys are ribbing us unmercifully. We got to do something. And pretty soon I could tell that it wasn't only the guys ribbing them, but the guys had ribbed them into a shoot where they both now were trying to plot ways that they could beat each other. So they're calling me, and I'm telling Kurt, Brock, don't. I said, if you guys want to go at each other, I know high school wrestling coaches, I know college coaches all over the United States. All I got to do is call them. They'll clear the wrestling room out for you guys. You guys go into a safe environment, because wrestling in that pro wrestling ring is not safe when you're going shooting so much, because of the ropes and the hardness of the ring. So I'll get you guys in a college arena and a college workout room, and you guys can go at it there. Well, the guys want us to screw the guys. That's what they're ribbing you guys. So one day they'd had enough. Up the rib, and I'd preach to them and preach to them and preach to them. So I'm actually backstage meeting with Vince, going over the TV show, and all of a sudden somebody comes running backstage. Brisco, you better get out to the ring. Your boys are in the ring going at each other. They didn't have to tell me who, because I knew who my boys were. It was Kurt and Brock, and I knew going at it meant that the guys had finally ribbed them so bad that they had to go in the ring and shoot with each other. So I take off running from Vince's office out to the ring. About the time, too late. They're squared off against each other. And I'm screaming, hey, get out of the ring, get out. About the time, here they go. They're bullying each other back. And Brock is bullying the hell out of Kurt. So finally, Brock bulls him into the rope. They back up. Kurt goes to lock out to him, and like lightning, Kurt is down on that low single leg. Brock is stoned, and he stumbled back into the rope, saved him from a takedown, right? Because he grabbed the rope. Right. Kurt's got a break. So he breaks, they get back in the corner. No sooner are they back in the corner, Brock double legs him so quick and so fast that Brock didn't even have time to take a breath. Boom, Brock is down. Okay, a takedown. I jump in the ring. I said, guys, you're over. Man, by the time I turn around, get out of the ring, Vince is, come here, Brisco. And he starts chewing me. Why are you letting those guys down? Vince, I was backstage with you when this. Well, you know they're going to do it. Why did you let them do it? Why did you? Don't you understand? Those are two jackpots. They're going to put money on your table. They're going to put money on my table. And you're out here letting them do this, potentially hurting each other. What would you do if they hurt each other? So now I got to take Kurt and Brock backstage and chew their asses out for letting the guys get to them. The guys, you fit right into what the guys want you to do. Are you happy now? I got my ass chewed. You guys already got some heat with Vince and all that stuff. And so that was the thing there. And once again, you're an Olympic champion for a reason. You're the best in the world. You're a national champion for a reason. You're the best in the United States. Well, the United States isn't the world. And Kurt was the best in the world. And Brock was the best in the United States. And so they finally figured out that Kurt Kurt had the wrestling ability over Brock. And man, what an awesome twosome. I mean, two of the biggest stars in the history of our business, come from the amateur wrestling ranks, which I'm very proud of. I had a hand in both of them. So I'm really proud of that.
Thank you so much for that story. I mean, that's we have always heard that urban legend, and thank you for shedding so much light on that. And finally, you have heard so many stories from Mr. Jerry Brisco. You can hear a million more stories on his podcast. So could you tell our listeners and all our viewers how they can log in and view your podcast?
Well, thank you very much. It's JBL and I, John Bradshaw Layfield and I, hooked up, during the pandemic because, we just basically to put a smile on our faces, just started telling those stories to each other, and a friend of ours that's a Japanese amateur national champion that we're both a mutual friend, one of the Wall Street guys up in New York that I've become friends with. And so he said, why don't you guys do a podcast together? Because we kind of, JBL and I kind of just bullshit on a little group text that we have. And, all the guys on the group text, you got to, do it. So Yoshi Nakamura is the one responsible for that. So if you hate us, look up Yoshi Nakamura and take it out on him. But be careful. He's a shooter and a half. But yeah, we tell a story. We just started doing it, just out of boredom, and then it just kind of turned into something. People started enjoying it, and it started growing a little bit, and we just kept doing it, And then the great thing about we get to reunite with some of our old friends, like Stan Hatch and like Dutch Mantel was recently on. But we get to reunite with them and relive some of those old glory days that we think are glory days in the sport. And some of the greatest stories in the history of the business are told by guys who not heard about them, but guys who were either involved in them or created the story by being the catalyst of the story. So we were bringing those original storytellers in and just sharing the stories that are famous in our business, or at least famous in the locker room of our business. And we're enjoying doing it. And like I said, with the chance to reunite with some of our old buddies, we're having a ball doing it. And I think people can see that we're enjoying each other and we're enjoying working with the guests that we have on. And it's more like a conversation than it is a Q&A for us anyway. And I hope it is for the people. But yeah, check it out. Anywhere you get your podcast, Stories with Brisco and Bradshaw, YouTube, just what is it? You got to hit that little thumbs up thing and say you like the thing. Even if you don't live one time, and hit that thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. I think you'll enjoy the stories. So if you don't, leave a comment, but hit that thumbs up for us. Thank you.
And if you enjoyed all of the stories on this podcast, I'm sure you'll enjoy all of the stories on that podcast. I am a fan. We at Sportskeeda, we cover many stories from the podcast every single week. So thank you, Jerry Brisco, for agreeing to be on our podcast. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for your insights. And we hope to have you back again at some point.
Anytime you want, I'll make time for you anytime. This has been fun. I hope it's enjoyable to all your fans out there.